Hey guys, it's your guy. So you know what time it is. It's another episode. How have you been? Now, I must say I'm really grateful for last week's episode and last week's 1 year anniversary. I mean, I got a lot of texts, I got a lot of messages. I saw a lot of I'm proud of you, God, and my head was swelling. I will not lie. I don't lie. At least not yet to you guys. I don't lie to you. So I won't even lie. A lot of, oh my God, it's been 1 year already. I'm so proud of you. Now, despite the hard rocky shell, I act like I have. Whether or not I have it is another question. Because I may look stubborn on the outside. Some people think I am, but I'm not going to dignify that with a response. I'm not going to tell you whether you are hallucinating or whether what you are thinking is correct, but that's your business. Despite the hard rocky shell I look like I have, one thing, and this is going to be one of the few things I'm ever going to reveal about myself here or anywhere, is that words get to me. I don't know, when we finally do the episode on love languages, it's in the works already. So is that a sneak peek? Yes, that's a sneak peek. That episode is already in the works. When we finally get the episode, we'll get there. But one thing peculiar to me is that words get to me. So if you tell me you are proud of me, one, you must mean it, and two, if I know you mean it, God, it does a lot to me, because I tell myself then that my view of me in your eyes has become very elevated. So I don't see myself, especially when I'm thinking about you, I don't think of me the way you would view me, as very little anymore. Once you've told me you are proud of me, it's like I now tell myself, God, this person respects me. Wow. Because telling me you are proud of me is probably one of the ways that, it pulls me out of my feelings. It gets me so hyped up. And a lot of persons keep telling me, a lot of my friends kept telling me, I'm so proud of you. Some persons even went to say they are super proud of you. I'm like, oh my Jesus. Because this podcast is a lot. It's my one safe space. It's the baby I'm proud that I have. It's the baby I'm proud that I have. It's the thing that makes me remind myself that I can do something that I have always thought, and I could do it, and I just did it. And it's also the fact that I have to constantly tell myself that. So there is somewhere on the internet where you can find clips of me actually talking and people actually listening to me. That's big. Total, sometimes I have to check my what do we call it now? My statistics. I'm seeing total plays, I'm seeing numbers, I'm seeing impressions reached, I'm seeing geographical locations, geographical demography, and I am like, this is wild. From just a guy who comes as inconsistent as he can be, because God knows that's a journey we are working on, but he records these episodes where he talks about things that he thinks you want to hear, and you listen to him for, like a podcaster I respect will say, for some 10-ish minutes. Is wild. So thank you. Here's to more journey in that light, more milestones that will crush, like my friend told me. Here's to more milestones. Here's to your first 1,000 streams, 1,000 please. So yeah. So today's episode. So when I was in secondary school, now I don't know about a lot of secondary school these days. I work in secondary school, but I'm around secondary school children a lot, is what I'm trying to say. But when I was in secondary school, there was this thing we used to do. So when it's end of the term, when you're coming to pick your results, you'd pick, and then you know how your results were handwritten. It's not now that results are all online. Like these days, one of the things I have found that makes parents respect the school is if the results, or if they do a lot of online stuff. If the results are uploaded online, if news mediums, if class presentations are sent to their WhatsApp platforms, if they have videos of their kids learning, like we partly run an internet stroke traditional, if there's any word like that, style of education currently in Nigeria. The only thing is, I just wish the NERDC, that's a body responsible for designing Nigerian curriculums, I wish they would finally acknowledge that that's where we are. Like, I hate that everything springs up to them like a surprise. Do you get? We're already running this type of system, but it will be like another 4-5 years before they finally come to tell us that, okay, we are running an internet stroke traditional style of system. So what are the subjects that we can take in that light that will benefit both the teachers and the students? Like, everything catches up to this in this country. It's like the things happen, then we start to make plans for how to fit it. Like, there's no proactive steps taken towards anything. I mean, from 2020, with the rate at which the world changed in a few months in 2020, any four-sided government or four-sided organization would know that we are getting here at this point. In fact, some countries have gotten here miles away. When you are doing, there's a course I took in my 300 level. It's called comparative education. One of the things you learn in comparative education is how that different countries and their different styles of education come up with different techniques. So some countries are already teaching their children how to take comparative educational courses online miles before it even becomes a thing. Not Nigeria. In Nigeria, what you get is it happens, we're already here, then we start planning for it. Meanwhile, while we are here already and we are planning for it, we are evolving somewhere else. It's wild. It's like wild in my head. So I digressed all of that because I was going somewhere. So I said, when I used to pick results at the end of the term in secondary school, when I went to secondary school, there was something we used to do. So when you picked your results, you'd write at the back, original copy collected by me or received by me. Right to this date. Now, initially, that didn't make a lot of sense to me. And that's important because the bedrock for this episode today is something that happened last week. So, I was having a conversation last week with someone I respect. And apparently she had written on her WhatsApp status. She said, and I think I'm paraphrasing, she said, these days I'm understanding that uniqueness is something a lot of people talk about but have very little to no idea of. So essentially she was saying that uniqueness seems to be like a thing that we talk a lot about but we have very little idea of. And she used the idea of, so as Christians we hear a lot of preachings about be you, God has made you to be you, you don't have to be anyone else. But somehow we also hear that we need Esthers. You know these teachings that we hear, we need Esthers, we need more Davids and the rest. So it's what she was trying to say, how that it seems like it's contradictory that we are telling ourselves to be unique, but we are telling us also that we need to be the Esthers, we need to be the Davids. And she was saying the thing that is interesting is those guys, they know that they were going to be whatever they eventually became while they were doing all that they were doing. They were simply just following God. And it makes a lot of sense. It made a lot of sense, and it still does, because now I think about it. And I'm wondering all the times that I was worried about that thing, original copy collected by me. So, as if I also wondered, if anybody can sign original copy collected by me, how do you then know that it is the owner of this thing that gets it? Then it made sense that you would write original copy collected by me, you would write your name, and you would sign. So, it's an original copy collected by me, but the me has to describe a specific person. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm wondering, all the times we tell people to be unique, all the sermons we preach about uniqueness, it's as though we tell people to be unique, we sing about it. In fact, we post a lot of stuff about, you know what, I'm unique in my own way, I'm not going to be anybody's version. But then it's like we don't even know how to do it. So we are looking for people who will teach us how to be unique. So it's like you are looking for something different. You want to make something different, but we are using what is already existing to make it. But you are saying it's going to be different. It's like trying to make a shirt, a different style of shirt, but you are using already existing measurements, already existing material, but you are saying it's going to be a different shirt. Will it really be different? I think that uniqueness, or the beauty therein, lies in the fact that none of us have ever lived. And in a way, as people and as Christians generally, what uniqueness would mean is that we would follow God's different call for our life and not have to be Esther's, be David's, And I also find it interesting that there are only specific people. We always say be Esther's, be David's, be Solomon's, they don't say be Solomon's, be Esther's, be David's, And this is actually a pointer to a deeper conversation that we are not even going to have today. But be Esther's, be David's, be... Who else do we talk about? Be Joshua's, yes. Be Joshua's, And I'm wondering, all of these guys were simply just living in their day, waking up and doing exactly what God was telling them. They didn't think they were creating a pattern or a blueprint, or they were creating a lineage that the rest of us would follow. They were not expecting us to come and pattern our lives. I feel like there's a lot of patterning that is going on in our world today. As humans and as Christians, the average person thinks that they want to be unique. But then you have not just role models, because role models are good. They show you what to do to achieve. But it's like we have not just role models, we have picture models. We say we want to be unique, but we have people who we are seeing and contravening their lives. So we are saying, I want to be unique in my God-given way. I want to live my life in a way that would allow me glorify God the way God wants me to live. But then I'm also saying, wow, for instance, Pastor, I don't know if she's a pastor, Ibukun Awoshika, I think that's her name. She has a sermon where she talks about uniqueness. So I'm saying I want to be this, but I'm also looking at her and I'm like, oh, I want to be like her. And I'm like, can you really be different? Are you really unique? Are you really special? Are you really rare? Are you really an original copy? Because remember this result analogy I used, how that the original copy of a result Although you write original copy received by me at the back of the carbon copy, which is another thing I never talked about. So you write original copy received by me at the back of the carbon copy. Carbon copy is that copy, that those carbon papers that, not cardboard, those carbon papers that are either black or blue that you use in duplicating. So you write it at the back of the carbon copy. It will be an original copy because that's what you're going to receive, the handwritten one, collected by me. But by me would make no sense if there was no name. So who is the me? So it's like you want to be an original person. You want to be an original person. But you want to be an original you, but you don't want to identify yourself. You want to be original in the sense of looking at somebody else. It's probably one of the biggest conundrums I have ever seen. Because I'm wondering, how exactly do we hope to achieve this thing? How can you be different? How can you be you for your purpose, for God's work in your life, for God's what God wants to achieve with you, or what you want to do with your life? How can you be special if you claim that you want to, but you entirely are patterning your life after a person? You are patterning every single thing. How do you say you want to be unique and say you want to be this person? Or don't I understand what uniqueness means? It's like a fight in my head. We want to have our cake and eat it. We want to be unique, and we say we want to be different from every other person. But we are just doing the same thing everybody's doing. I was having a conversation with someone a few days ago, and I was saying there's a way parenting is going on in our generation that is interesting to me. Every child now is either in a ballet class, in a tennis class, and somehow we all think that we want to be unique. Like we cried that our parents allow us become what we wanted to be. But we are doing the same thing. And we are saying we want to make our children unique. I think that uniqueness requires breaking boundaries. I think that uniqueness requires walking in uncharted waters, doing something that has never been done. Not necessarily because that's what you're looking for, but because that's what it requires. And that understanding that at some point in the journey, you may never get good advice because you may be asking for advice for something that somebody has never done. Or that you may be doing what everybody has done, but just with a touch of you. And so it will require that though you get advice, but you won't have to be anybody to be it. That you can be an Esther who is not like Esther. You can be a virtuous queen appearing at the seat of power, but you are not trying to be an Esther. You just are walking in God's way for your life. And then it seems like your story is similar to Esther's, but it is not the same thing. Because a carbon copy and an original copy are similar of the same thing, but they are not the same. One is entirely dependent on the other. It's as though God wants us to be unique, and it's as though we understand the instruction, but we don't know how to carry, or we hurriedly carry it out. Not necessarily that we don't know how to be carried out. We hurriedly carry it out without waiting for God to tell us how it will be. So God tells you want to be a philanthropist who is into empowering the girl child. And rather than say, so what's the unique thing God wants me to do? This is what God, how would God achieve this with me? You say, you know what? And I'm not even saying, this is not any way speaking against having role models. You say, you know what? This person is already doing this thing. I will look at this person as my role model, which is good. But at some point, they stop being your role model because it's a role you are trying to look at, to feel, but with a touch of you. They start being your picture's model. They start being the very thing you look at. I'm just wondering, and I think that a lot of times it's going to require from us the things that we are not willing to give. This is my thoughts this evening. And yeah, I would love to see your comments about it. Till I come your way on the next episode. Stalking Joe.